All right. Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing today? Hopefully you are all doing very, very well. Big gap up overnight on the market. What's driving this gap up? Well, really, it was that breakout yesterday. We built that consolidation and it took all day. But if you go back to the very beginning of the stream yesterday, I said where I thought the market wanted to go, where its draw was to go higher. It just needed to spend a lot of that morning yesterday building and building and building before finally doing it. And as a bonus, we had a huge beat on Netflix, which is fantastic for tech. So as always, I'm going to start on the daily chart, work our way down. Daily chart, clear breakout of trend line, clear breakout of this pivot here. This is your change of character, right? If we can close above that, that's your change of character. But I would say that the first objective has been complete on this daily chart. All right, we've gone from lower Bollinger Band, reclaim the 5-day. 5 days now crossed the 20-day bullish signal, and we have change of character here. All right, so the question is, as we always know, with a change of character, very much like a break of structure, once you get that, are we going to just continue drifting higher, or at some point, all right, we will expect a pullback inside, all right, and then we'll be looking for dips for a move higher. All right, because now we have trend change, right? If we're going to go from this to this, then really what we're going to look for is this. All right, so this is a giant W. We're going to look to join the trend long once it's done that pullback. Today might not be the day for the pullback. All right, it might be that we continue to drift higher here. The next level of liquidity we can aim for is probably this up here, and we'll refine this level as we get into a lower chart. But this level up here, the next daily pivot, that supply created on, what's this, 26th of December, over that Christmas period, likely to be quite thin up there as well. All right, and then we have the upper Bollinger Band, which is starting to trend up. All right, and eventually 5-day will catch up, 20-day will come to here, and we can do something like this for a while and try and get up to those all-time highs. Notable gap up, right? Look at previous days, close down here. This is a very, very large gap up. You're talking, what, 200 points? Yeah, 200-point gap up. So be aware of that. All right, a gap and go move will be like this. And that rollover move for a gap fill will be to here. And then we'd expect buyers to try and come back in again. Just to, for some complete transparency, I have been in a short this morning. I started getting short not that long ago, just on the hour, the change of the hour for a little fade down. I'm just holding runners right now. So I'm just having to manage that, looking to see if we break the lows here, and then I'm watching that liquidity on the tape at 900. I've got my stop in place, so nothing too bad. In fact, I'm going to move this down and trail a little bit now. We're breaking down because I don't want to give too much back here. Looking very, very good. Bear with me, and then I'll get back into this. Let's get this stop nice and tight. There we go. Moving down into the hourly chart now. So, cross into the hourly chart. You can see here, all right, this blue box down here, this is where we built liquidity yesterday. If you remember those on stream yesterday, I was saying there was possibility, higher time frame. So it's dragging my stop down here, trying to manage while I'm teaching. There was possibility, higher time frame, that this was the inverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder. This is basically completion of a cup. All right, that would be the ideal move. Whether we get that handle move today or not is a whole other thing. Very probable comes later in the week, but we have taken this liquidity out here. This was the low-hanging fruit first target I was talking about. All right, so once we popped through this Monday 10 o'clock, we were aiming for this liquidity here. We have a block here, then some room into some old points of control, and then some more blocks above into that sort of Christmas period pivot that we put. But on the market in general, we are bullish. So what are we looking for? Well, overnight, point of control created right here. If we start to fail, remember this is a very steep trend line. If we start to fail and we get stuck, this is the gap fill all the way down here in that blue box. If we drift under that gap, all right, we can think about that point of control yesterday. Remember, a lot of liquidity was built in this session yesterday. Okay, so really, if we're going to fail, that's not I wouldn't say that's the high probability setup. I would say a drift higher is high probability. But if we're going to fail, sorry, just move my stop down with this as we approach 900. If we're going to fail, I'm going to look for a fade back down for the gap fill, and then from this point, a bullish signal potentially for a rotation back up. Beautiful trade here. Lovely. Let's just clean this up. Okay, so lots of trend line liquidity created overnight here. All right, this point here is going to be key. Point of control overnight. Also looking at VWAP. So if we go into the 5-minute chart above, you can see lots of volume has been built in around here, that point of control. All right, if we get rid of this, just so we can clean it up for a second. We're now fading through London. If we're going to start to rotate and get stuck under point of control, you have VWAP, we have these liquidity levels here. You obviously have London low, Asia low. Underneath Asia will be the move back to the gap right here. All right, so this is sort of the afternoon breakout point. This is my ideal buying scenario, would be all the way down here. Whether we get it or not is a whole nother thing. If we're going to come down here, I definitely want to try and get a short into it if we're going to do that move, because that's 200 points. I don't really want to miss out on 200 points and then go back up. I'd like to grab a piece of this and then go. If we're just doing a little liquidity run, okay, if right now is a move down to the point of control and we put in something like this, then I'm going to look for the rotation back up, partials through here. I know there's a seller on the tape at 950. All right, there's a 275 lot on the tape at 950. He's been sat there all morning. I'll be looking for a rotation for him, and then I'll be looking for a rotation through that, like we talked about on this H1 down here, through 950, 957, and then maybe a move up to 22,000 for that old point of control. If we get through that, then we can look for these sort of Christmas highs, so covering here on this little bounce. So that 21,900 came in key there. So a little bounce there. I'm all out of this position now. So that was basically into POC. That fade there, just missed POC, but into the H1 liquidity that we stole, that we drove through, that dotted red line. And then moving into the lower time frame. Okay, you can see again in a little bit more detail. Let's change this. This is the wrong color. This needs to be blue. And these guys can go now. So really, I'm watching this afternoon pullback area and previous day high. If we're going to do gap fill, it would be to here. We'd have to give a pattern like this. And then down here, I'd be looking for a bullish pattern for a rotation. Otherwise, if we're going to do a sweep and hold, I'll be looking to join long up here. Sentiment for me is bullish, right? I'm only giving you this play here in case they want to do the gap fill, but the sentiment is absolutely bullish on the market. There are still levels above that we can draw into that we've gone over this morning. Why is it just got rid of my supply? That's a little bit annoying. Bear with me a second. Obviously deleted some drawings. I didn't mean to there. Sorry, team, just having to put my pivots back in. Okay, so you can see this pullback we've just had here coming into that sort of key level, 21,900 that we created overnight, coming into what? The lower time frame algo. You'll see this lower time frame algo has been respected on many, many pullbacks, right? Yesterday, these afternoon pullbacks we had, right here, lower time frame algo, push away from, found supply, lower time frame algo, pivot above, through the deep pullback into flow zones, and now we're just pumping, deep pullback, pumping, deep pullback. Same again, consolidation here for flag into lower time frame algo, pumping, deep pullback, lower time frame algo, lower time frame algo. So once we get set under this, there's a rotation, but until then, we're very, very bullish on this market. All right, we're very, very bullish in this market. Let's have a quick look at the Mag 7 and the VIX then. How long have we got? I'm doing okay for time. Mag 7 then. All right, again, divergence in the Mag 7. Apple, weak. All right, Apple just snapped underneath that 2020, that 220 level. All right, just absolutely puked out there. So I don't know if news hit the wire or those buyers just got stuck. But that remains very, very heavy in the market. Microsoft, gapping up, looks good for a gap and go. Amazon looks good for a potential gap and go. Again, as long as it's basing over previous day high, previous day close. Google, sort of inside yesterday's range, but looking pretty strong there on that last push. Meta with a gap and go setup. Again, same thing as long as it holds over yesterday's range. Nvidia, strong. Tesla, inside range. So Apple, again, very, 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 very weak. And the VIX, right? VIX dropped all the way down then, all the way into an old demand block, which I had marked out at 1460. That demand block goes down to 1425. A little bounce off that. Maybe retests the range we put in the last few days. That should have you pretty much set on the market in general. All right, you should be set off that. 10 o'clock news. Let's have a look at this 10 o'clock news driver. Remind myself what it is today. Not really. All right, not really. US economic indicators, not too worried about that. More concerned about tomorrow at 8:30, initial jobless claims. All right, more concerned about those jobless claims. And let's get through these shout outs then before we go any further. Morning, Coop. Just stopping by. Yeah, have a good week, buddy. Hope you're good. Morning, Noah, Marek, Vanderman, Remus, Thumper, Peter Curry, Miguel, Jeff Stewart, Glenn. Good morning, mate. Minix, TR, Christy. Pleased to say I bought the course. Ah, nice, TR. Well done. Idris, good morning. Miguel, good morning. Steve C, good morning. All right, so we all know what we're looking at. All right, ideally, we get dips to play. If there's strength in this market, then we might have to play upside. But we know that we're tapping into supply. So again, momentum's great to the upside. Location's not good. So a full gap fill would be all the way down towards, mid 700s. I don't know if we get that. But I would be watching if the market is really going to do something like that. We can have a look for it. Otherwise, we're just going to let this shake out for a little bit, build some liquidity. Remember, we're opening 200 points higher today. I don't want to get caught buying highs. Ideally, we have some pullback and a hold and a trap of shorts to move higher. If we're going to let go and just start to roll, then I will think about that fade. But I'm not thinking about that fade early. I did have a scalp off that 9 a.m. candle, out now, locked in. Some pretty good profits there. So just sitting tight for a minute. Let's see what we do. ES coming back into that lower time frame. I'll go back towards the VWAP here. SPY opening underneath its VWAP here, or at least that first push under. QQQ looked very strong. There's the push. All right, so maybe this is the move. There is a seller at 21,950. Like I said, there was a 270 lot, and they're adding liquidity there. They're really dragging this up very, very quickly into it. What a move. Geez, so short's definitely stuck on that pullback. So we are looking like a gap and go type play today. I'm just going to watch carefully, see how we act after they clear out these 50s here. I say big order filling there. So 270 filled on the book there at 50. They're starting to add higher. I don't want to chase this now. This candle is massive already. Don't want to get caught chasing this. We'll have to wait now to see if it's a clear out and a fail as we start to go into that daily supply block. Right, so top of this block coming up here. Just wicked it out, I think, on my chart. I want to see, do they flush this after taking all the liquidity on the H1? Very, very big move there off the flow zones. Gap and go looks strong here today. I'm going to be looking for a way to get involved. Remember, we said once it gets through this level here, we have some old points of control. 973, 975, and then 22,010-ish. But it is just chomping its way through all this very, very aggressively. Like I said, the market overall is very bullish. Dream scenario would have been a nice dip to buy. Hasn't provided one yet. So I'm definitely not buying 77 points higher in the opening 2-minute print. I'm just going to wait here. I let it just settle for 5 minutes. Definite strength in the Qs. All right, SPY and ES not as strong today. So tech holding up well. Tesla 0.3% up. Nvidia 3.3% up. That's the big mover. Meta 1.2% up. Google 0.75% up. Amazon 0.6% up. Looking good. Microsoft 2.1% up. And Apple red on the day, about 0.2% down. But if they can start to gain control here on Apple, which it looks like they are trying to do, that dip below 220 has been absorbed. If they can start to gain control here, then there is a chance that the market gets a nice rally. Remember, if Apple starts to grind back up, that will really help the market because it's such a big part of this market. Just being careful here because I know we've just stolen a lot of liquidity at those 50s, 60s, and 70s there. So do dips hold here? Or was that a shove to be sold into? So new seller on the book, 250 lot at 22,000 now. So again, I want to join this long. I want to find ways of joining this long, but I need to let it settle down. We're still extended from these flow zones. What I don't want to do is get caught trying to join the highs, right? That's a big, big move. And we've taken lots of liquidity here. All right, there were lots of, oh, come on. There was lots of liquidity here, which we've just stolen. So if they want to go and drive through the dailies and then get stuck and fail, they can. Equivalent of a turtle soup, some people would call it. All right, so I'm just being cautious over that. Just going to let it wait. It's still so early in the day, team. Super, super early in the day. Do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, everyone on stream, do me a favor and smash that like button. ES relative weakness on this session for sure. Maybe some selling in the banking sector. Apple going green now. All of tech going green, looking good. So the question is, can it hold its gains today? Watching to see how we operate into these sort of pre-market highs here. Do we need to dip further down? What I hate about when we get into sort of these levels is there's so many like little blocks of supply that I have to measure out on H1 as we start to drift through them. Remember, point of control currently at 920. From the overnight session. We start letting go of that. We start letting go of 900. Then we can maybe think about a trap low, or if we stay heavy, a gap fill kind of play. Looking pretty good. Just sitting patiently here. Missed that opening drive for the steal of liquidity. So just sitting patient here. Not buying dips yet. Just going to wait. VIX with that big, big move up as well. VIX trading at 1520. So nice shove, a nice 60-point shove off the demand zone at 1460 to 1425. So filling all the way back down here. Possible that we've just gone and taken that liquidity to fail. Remember, we are gapping up significantly. We're still 220 points up. So that shove took us, what, almost 250 points up. Seeing if they hold dips here for a continuation. I'm just going to let it settle down. Watch your ATR, remember. Very, very aware of the potential failed breakout there and steal of liquidity. Remember, momentum's been upside, but you have to ask yourself, is this a good place to be buying? Remember, yesterday, we wanted to be buying at 21,400s. Today, we're at almost 22,000. So we're joining late for squeezes, basically. So you want shorts trapped in the market if we're going to join late. And you want to know there's liquidity targets above to head for. Running out of targets for it to head for, in all honesty. Are they going to flag this and go? Still liquidity on the book at 22,000. That's where they want to drag it right now. 250 lot up there. So it's a big, big order. Nothing confirmed here yet. Just waiting. Zoom this in a bit. Move to a 1 minute if you want. So are they going to do a flag? Can we support this structure here? If they start to fail under here, then you might get a trap low. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm not playing anything upside yet. Not playing anything at all right now. Just going to let it figure itself out. S&P holding the lower time frame algo, finding bids in front of, or an ES in front of the VWAP. ES is above the VWAP, S&P below the VWAP, QQQ testing the VWAP, NQ not at its VWAP yet. So little divergence across the board. Tech definitely stronger today. Apple going red to green, green to red, about break even on the day. Tesla about the same. The rest of tech looking pretty good. The question is, can it hold its gains? Can tech hold its gains? Remember, like we talked about on the daily, we have had that breakout on the daily. After you have the breakout, often you would expect some form of pullback, because buyers like me do not just want to keep chasing and chasing and chasing highs. Think about wave structure. Watching these 5-minute bars here. Five-minute looking good. 5-minute looking very good. Looking to see if they're going to break out here. Watching very, very closely. Starting to put a feeler on. Feeler only. We'll take it off versus 50s. I'll take it off instantly because I haven't got my ATM on. That's a shame. All right, so still watching this same play. I want to see this base and hold 50s. Would like a reaction off ES. Not in yet. I was in, took it off straight away because I didn't have my ATM strategy set. So that's a instant reason for me to get out. But looking good here. Here we go. So looking for this squeeze up. Looking for 22,000 if it's going to operate for us. Don't want to see it drift below 50. All right, drift below 50, in my opinion, comes and runs the stops at 34s and dunks really quick. So very, very tight versus this 50. Yeah, I'm not taking that. Buyer coming on the book now at 925, 100 lot at 925. He's probably dragging this down to get a fill there. So in fact, I need to wait here. Maybe need some more shorts trapped in this market before it does upside. So just to scalp there, moved my stop break even. So I'm up very, very small on that move. Like I said, I did have a short pre-market. All right, I was short here and got out here. So I've already had one nice trade this morning. Maybe need to retest this zone. But optimal entry today would be down at like 750. I know it's a long way. 750 all the way down to 725, or 775 down to 725. That would be the optimum bullish entry today. I will take dips if I think they trap enough shorts. Watching this 5-minute bar again, it's starting to fill in here. And I watch this H1 bar as well. Watch the high and lows of this bar and how it acts versus 920s here, which is point of control on the session. Watch how it acts at flow zones. They might just need to do a very similar move to yesterday where they chop and chop and chop in the AM session, because that gap up again has been massive. London and Asia having a lot of fun again. But looking for a gap and go is strategy 1 if they trap enough shorts. If they fail to trap the shorts and bulls chase in, then I'll be looking for strategy 2, which would be a gap fill, a rotation in the gap fill. But biased remains upside until proven otherwise. And maybe needs to revisit into 30s, 20s and 30s here. Notice the volume tapering off. With this tapering off, good sign for bullish plays. If you get a volume spike here and they come back in, maybe a wash here, and that kind of move would be very, very nice for watching the volume on these. Going through 950 here. ES holding bids on that lower time frame algo. Definite weakness in ES here this morning. SPY right at its VWAP. Right, so it's underneath VWAP. It's trying to trade back through VWAP. They keep selling that, it's going to be a problem for this market. QQQ comfortably above VWAP. It's absorbed all dips into it. NQ hasn't even got there yet. Looking good here. And it was trying to set up for that squeeze. It's really trying to set up for the squeeze. I don't like that it's left these lows at 25, 26s. Would have liked a clean move through that first. Because I don't like knowing that there's a 115 lot on the book there at 25 looking to get filled. Remember, unfortunately, if we're buying here, we are buying high after stealing liquidity. It's really not ideal. But it feels like it's trying to drift higher here. Can we get that move? Can we get that flag move up into 22,000 and beyond? Looking good for this squeeze here. Watching this flag break now. I want to see it just rip through sort of 68, 70 and start to put a squeeze on. If it fails to do that, I'm less interested. Watching this kind of play here off flow zones. It needs to do this play here for me to really be interested in it. I'm watching Apple as well. I don't want to see Apple drop too low in this session. I want to see it be absorbed off the lows and look for that bounce play on Apple. That will help the market rotate higher. Starting to sell Apple now into 221. Need to see that hold bid. Definitely don't want it below 220 again on the session. That will be problematic. Here's the squeeze. So looking good. Here's the flag. Again, looking for 22,000. Adding into this. Want to see this pop through higher day. So tapped into supply there. Found sellers break even on this trade here. The second break even on the day already. Might still set up here, so just going to be a little bit cautious. Don't want another break even. I know my triggers. If I take 3 break evens in a row early, it will be a problematic for me in terms of mental capacity. No damage done. Again, I'm up big on one of the accounts from that early morning fade, but if this doesn't want to go, I've got to be cautious. I'm buying high for a move higher. I need to see VIX start to fail inside here as well. There we go. VIX now starting to play ball a bit more. That was definitely a failed break there. Failure to take out this high. So can they rebuild here now? Remember, this is the structure. Can they rebuild here now to do that move to 22,000? Failure to do that. If we get stuck here, we do that deeper roll. And it might just chop. Again, very much like yesterday. Big gap up can chop sideways while it makes its mind up. Apple holding bids there very, very well. which is great. Tesla definitely the weakest in this session. Nvidia off to the races. Nvidia looks good. So a bit lackluster, a bit of a lackluster opening 20 minutes here. Range has tightened up. SPY right on its VWAP. QQQ above the VWAP. Might need to back test it one more time. NQ not there. ES above VWAP as well. So overnight players in control. Cash players on the day getting chopped up. Overnight players clearly in control because we're gapping up 200 points. So you know the bulls in London and Asia, they're comfortable right now. Bulls trying to join the market in New York like us, not having the best time. All right, they're making it hard for us for sure. Here's the hold of that level that we were just talking about. All right, so can they squeeze this yet again for another go higher? Looking better. Really good. Lovely move. Here we go. So that play is starting to play out now. Just took a bit of time to chop around. And we get a drive through this now. A break through this probably takes us to 22,000, and then I'll be looking at those daily levels. Can we do 22,120? Top of Bollinger Band and top of daily. Also need to keep looking left. It's so far out here, but the next point of control would also take us into, 22,010. So can we drift higher here? This is the question I'm asking. This was the setup we just talked about. All right, breakout, hold above here for this move. Break of this should stop run to 22,000, partial into there, and anything above will be beautiful. Be very, very careful. These are getting a little bit frothy levels up here as we drift higher. Lovely move. There we go. There we have it. So there's the stop run. Can we now move into 22,000? Or if ES can get going with us here, that would be magnificent. Lovely. Almost there. We are almost there. Pay yourself a little bit of money here on that little breakout there, that squeeze. That was the stops getting run. So covering a little bit more here down to runners. Lovely coup. So extending the range. I would like to see us trade through 22,000 now. And then really we can just start looking for drifts higher today. Those drifts higher will be probably a kind of like a shallow pullback session day where we just drift higher because shorts will start getting stuck, right? So you just got to be very, very careful. Yeah, nice play there. Played out in the end, didn't it? We were talking about this flag here. We were bullish. Had a couple attempts at these, and then eventually this one paid. Boom. So after the breaker structure, what do we expect? A pullback, and then we'll be looking for a continuation. The problem is the higher we go, the more frothy we get, the more liquidity that we take, the less interested I become in the trade. I would love to have been a buyer in the London and Asia session. So again, continuation higher here. It wants to go to that 22,000. That's the level it would like to move to. There's a seller on the book up there, almost 300 contracts up there. It will be a big exchange up there. Probably got some selling in front of it. Bulls will see that and be like, oh, I don't want to get smacked. But I think we trade through him. Apple looking good. Nvidia the only weak one. If Nvidia, Tesla the only weak one. If Tesla finds some bids today and the whole market can get in sync, would be amazing. So selling in front of that 22,000 didn't quite make it. Like I said, probably some buyers will see him and front run. I would still like to see this move through it. Like this. Here we go. Go on, go and pop him out. Do a nice little run through him. Very, very close. You can see the sell pressure there as we get up into him. He's got 290 lots there now. 291, 292, 293. They're trying to build it and build it and build it. I still think we take him out. Honestly, I think we just rip straight through him very shortly. Just might need to build a little bit longer. Still holding runners for that move. So try not to be greedy. I've paid myself on the way up here, but I still would like to see us trade through that 22,000 lot. If it doesn't come, that's okay. Really don't want dips below 70 here. Don't want to dip beneath this kind of level here. This block that we were getting involved in, we want to see that protected. So almost there, team. We're almost there. Knocking on the door. There he goes. There's 22s. He's taken. He got filled there on the book. All right, so big exchange in that level. Almost 300 contracts. Can we drift higher now? Like we said, the squeeze would be on if we just start to drift higher. ES also approaching its high of day. Market going green. All right, most of the Mag 7 green. Tesla the only one lagging behind, 1.3% behind. Market looks strong here. So make sure you're paying yourself into this move. Remember, we are now 290 points up since the close yesterday. It's a big old gap up. We're looking for the gap and go here. Nice Coop. Coop's made his money, done for the day. There we go. There's the squeeze and continuation. Beautiful. So like we said, we're revisiting that old point of control now. If you're wondering where I'm looking at that, I'm looking at that on this higher time frame right here. This point of control here from the 24th. So can we drift through this now and start attacking, let's say 22,070, 22,120 through that. There's a little gap all the way up to 250, 260s. All right, so we're looking for these drift higher kind of moves. Why am I saying drift higher? These are fueled by shorts trapped in the market rather than big buying. And this is fueled by shorts who are trapped in the market right now. We're looking very good here, team. Where was my long entry? The one we called out right here. All right, if you go back, this, once we broke out, it said if we can hold this, we trade higher. And I was adding into this move, covering some up here, and then runners right now. So most of you should have got that. Those of you who trade me all the time should have got that. Really nice sort of flag, breakout, retest, go again. So it took me 3 attempts to get that, I'm going to be honest. It took me 3 attempts. Can't even see your entry, really. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're struggling with. There's the flag. There's the imbalance hold. Had a couple attempts here. And the final attempt here, right? Push, pull, hold, shorts trapped, gone. This right here, here. Don't know what else to say. Right here. I had attempts here, didn't work. This one here was lovely. So drifting higher into points of control here, into next block of supply. $22.08. That's the old point of control. Old value area range. This is an interesting area because it's into Christmas now. These are sort of Christmas levels. But I'd say 22, I'd say 44s, 64 is liquidity, and 77. Again, we're drifting higher because shorts are getting squeezed here. This is more of a short squeeze than genuine buying. Yeah, they've got... Nice, Jeff. Yeah, lots of you should be up nicely on this. Make sure you're paying yourselves now. I'm runners only. Any big pullback here and I'll be out. Glenn, lovely work. Beautiful. Just took a minute to set up, didn't it? I had a couple attempts here looking for these breaks. Right, on these flags, probably a bit premature. But once we did this and this was the key. Break, pull, hold, shorts are trapped, we go. Like I said, coming into the session, I was very bullish on the session. Gap and go was the most probable setup, which is what we're getting. And the gap fill was the second setup. But like I said, it was unlikely to get a gap fill given what the Mag 7 were doing. All right, so any big pullback here, I'll be taking my runner off. Anything where I see volume coming in, it might want to come all the way back and retest this zone here. Remember, this is where short stops are. Yeah, I'm out here on my runner. This is where short stops are, okay? So it might come and retest this. You would want buyers to step back in here. If they fail here, this is where you're likely to get the rotation and a run of these. But until that point, you should remain bullish in this market. If you don't like buying high, that's okay. It's just probably going to be a day where you can't trade. So yeah, W's in chat if you got it. I know Coop got it. Jeff's got it. Glenn got it. Thumper got it. Nice work, team. Liquidity above. All right, there's a seller above now at 22,050. Sitting 162 lot up there. And then 22,175 lot. Christy got it. Nice work. Steve got it. Peter Curry got it. Yeah, lots of you got it. So lots of you understood what I was talking about this morning. If you didn't, just go back and rewind it. The first thing I did was talk about the flag, and then I talked about, I literally drew this out for you before it happened. This is, once this failed here, I said we would need a push and a pull and I'll re-enter. And that was your re-entry long. We're getting a little bit extended here, extended away from this, extended from flow zones. But if shorts keep getting trapped, this is the problem on days like these. Shorts keep getting trapped. We keep doing this higher and higher and higher without a notable pullback. Hopefully, we get a notable pullback to play off. But often, when shorts are stuck, the pullbacks can be very, very shallow. Jesse M with a W as well. All right, so all of you with a W, do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, free here every single morning, Monday to Friday, pre-market analysis, and then I trade with you through till lunch. So that you can at least give me a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your mates. The bigger this channel gets, the more giveaways I can do. So SPY for me has just taken out a key level. I've just seen that alerted. Let's just go back to see what that level is. Yeah, okay. SPY taking out December 24th highs. So the next level really for SPY will be to trade up to, what day is this? Oh no, that's, sorry, we've taken out the 18th highs. We can trade up to the highs of the 16th on the SPY now. And then the last move would be a trade up to the 11th of December. Like I said, felt good about a move to all-time highs after last week. On that daily, looked good, didn't it? In the last few weeks, held that lower Bollinger Band that we always talk about. We go back to this daily chart. We held this lower Bollinger Band. We traded back up. We created a flag here. We held the 5-day crossed the 20-day. We broke out through the 20-day, and now we're just gapping and drifting higher. Where are we going to aim for? This block right here. And the top Bollinger Band right here, which is starting to point upside. So if we get continuation of Bollinger Band opening up, which we will, then we're going to allow something like this to happen, and then an attack of that. Not today, but later in this week or next week for sure. So clear change of character here now. Right, think about the trend. Once we get this, what do we want? Ideally, we want a pullback and then upside. So that's what I'm looking for in the next few sessions, a pullback and an upside move, ideally. But today, we are straight to the moon. Look at this moon shot once we put in that W down here. Here comes the sell pressure. Beautiful. So we're getting a pullback now in the market, which is fantastic. So is this a retest of this area here? And if they sell through it, then we're going to go lower. But so far, retesting that area where we know shorts are stuck. This is the 10 o'clock news, I guess, hitting the wire as well. A little bit late, but feels like it's just hit the wire. That's definitely increased volume. Just back testing that area that we broke out from. Let me see what that news is saying. So that area, we've just back tested that area, like I said, that structure where those shorts were stuck. Notice how we've come into it and absorbed off it instantly. That's because those shorts got out break even. Right? They got out break even on that move. US leading index change month over month, 0.1, previous 0.3, forecast 0.1. So it was in line. So no big anomaly there. Again, remains bullish, right? We just talked about this. You would want to see it pull back into this area, hold for continuation higher. It looks very, very bullish, this to me today. Very, very bullish. Chris Thorne also made money on that. Lovely. I would say we've probably had the best trade of the day already, to be honest. All right, we're now trading in a 125-point initial balance range. We've got a new H1 candle here. I hate all these lines on my chart, but it's annoying. I need them right now with us testing so many different levels of supply. So I know the next level of supply is right here. We're tapping into this block right here. And if we get through this, then we drift up to the top side of the block. But my thesis today is just shorts are stuck. Shorts are now stuck in this market as we're starting to break out of daily levels. So I'll be looking for traps, anything like that. If the market starts to roll over, we can think about deeper prices. But right now, there's nothing in this market telling me it wants to move substantially lower on the higher time frame. It just looks like it wants to absorb and drift higher today. So can they reset up a new flag or a new use of liquidity like this? Stops will be here, and that will be the next leg up. If they reject this level here, then maybe a lower low down here, and we can see how we act down here. Don't really want to see it drift into this box here. It gets a little bit messy if it starts to do that. Really just want to see this drift higher and react higher. The best buys were actually the attempts that we had earlier on the day. The first two attempts where I took break evens. Maybe I was a little bit too tight, but when we're gapping up that far, I'm not willing to have a stop too far down in case we have a flush candle and it runs me by 10, 20 points. Morning, Tyson. So again, we're looking to see, do we build liquidity out here? Do we need to do something like this to run these stops? If we're going to come into here, I'm going to be more risk off, more hands off and let it build, because if we get stuck in here, that can be problematic. But until then, I'm thinking about upside moves. The biggest issue is we've just taken so much liquidity out on the daily levels and the hourly levels. The low-hanging fruits we've taken out. Really, the only thing to aim for now is 60 and 100, that sort of daily Bollinger Band and daily pivot from, what day was that? 26th. Running out of levels to aim for other than that. The dips are paying today so far. But anytime we get a failed breakout, it will be a problem for this market. So liquidity upside on the tape, 155 lot order at 22,050. Seller up there at 22,050. Buyers right now, 100 lot at 950 and 925. There's a 200 lot. So they're looking for big old dips to get like down and to absorb. And that seller way, way higher at 50. Well, not way higher. What's that? 30 points higher at 50. Looks good for a squeeze up to it right here at the moment. That's what it's looking to try and do. Remember, a failed breakout is what will cause problems. You get bulls trapped up at these highs with a failed breakout. That's when you'll get those deeper moves. Same kind of pattern as earlier here. Hasn't broken out on the flag, but you want to see it sort of base above this. If it gets weak in here, you need to be cautious about the rotation into this. All the time we're holding, potential squeeze higher. Remember, all we're doing today is squeezing higher. That's all we're really expecting right now. The low-hanging fruits have gone, and that's what's going to make it very, very tricky. Those Asia traders are so far in the money. Even the London traders, even London breakout traders are miles in the money. Looking good. Seeing if it will do the same thing here as earlier now. Dips into flow zones. Holding. Everything's still holding. Sentiment remains bullish, but we're running out of targets upside. VIX trading back inside, testing its previous day low here. All right, VIX trading back inside. ES looking good, breaking out. New highs on the day for ES. Can the Qs get going with it? So here we go. Is it going to set up exactly the same move as earlier? Remember, a break of 22, sort of 30, let's call it. Clean break of 22.30 should squeeze up towards 50 at that point. So you should be in runners, or maybe you've been adding on these dips down. But failed breaks is where buyers will get stuck. You do not want to see failed breakouts. That's where you know intraday buyers will get stuck. Lebanese, not Turkish, Camille. Lebanese. So I'm equal, basically I'm equal split of Lebanese, Italian, English, and Scottish, 25% of each. So watching these 5-minute bars, looking at a little bit frothy up here, but I kind of expect them to go and run it at some point. But again, failed breakouts of the highs is where buyers get stuck. You have to know that. But we look like we want to move higher here. Watching these 5-minute bars, you would expect an acceleration through 25 at some point. This is very, very similar to this move here. Acceleration through here and selling partial in these moves into 50s. Remember, we're very high now, so it's getting harder and harder and harder to participate. I don't see us moving much more over sort of 120 today. That would be the max target for me on the day, I would say. That daily draw higher. There we go. Same move again. There we go. There's the squeeze. So selling pieces into this and then trying to hold 4 extensions through 50s. Exactly the same move. See how it's the same process over and over again. No guesswork. Exactly the same move as we had earlier. Even this, I told you, dips down into here would need to hold. That I was telling you that here. Dips down, held. These shorts are stuck. This is how I know shorts are stuck. Now we drift higher. This is a day where we just drift higher. Beautiful move. This is paying very nicely now. Can we move through 50s now? Remember, seller on the tape at 50s. 170 lot at 50s. I would love to see us just whack up into 50s. Selling a little bit there. Hopefully some of you got that with me. Still holding runners. But hopefully some of you are paying yourselves. Please make sure you pay yourself today. We are drifting higher. I do not want to hear about you guys not paying yourselves when the market is up 320 points on a session. Peter Curry got it again. See, look how simple trading is when you just keep to the rules. What are the flow zones saying? Higher. What is the market doing? Gapping up. What is the Mag 7 doing? Gapping up. What do we expect the market to do? Drift higher. What do we need? Short stuck. What are the signatures? There. Where are their stops? Here. Explosion higher. There's their stops. There's the structure. What did this do? Breakout, retest. This here, R, B, S. Resistance becomes support. Trades back in. Soaks up. What is this? Flag. What is this? Return, breakout, retest. What is this? Squeeze. All right. Same thing, over and over and over again. And when in doubt, just follow the flow zones. Flow zones are telling you right now, we're in a buy. This is holding. This is multi-time frame higher. We buy it. We don't guess tops. Tyson, lovely. Still in with a runner. Jeff, win number 2. Yep, same as me, mate. Win number 2 in this session. Great work, team. Hopefully, it's just starting to sort of make sense for lots of you, especially those of you who've done the course. This is everything I teach in the course starting to show itself in live trading, right? No guesswork done here. There's no guesswork. 50 still on that book, all right? 180 lot up there at 50. Looking to see if we can whack him, get through him. There's an 80 lot at 75. Just remember where we are in terms of H1s, all right? We are not wanting to add high. We need to know shorts are trapped to add up here because we are drifting into these levels on H1, all right? We're buying in supply right now. You have to pay yourselves money when you're doing that, right? Because remember, the best buy is all the way down here, right? Swing buyers have a lot of fun right now in this market. I said it the last few weeks, I'd love to have a swing buy account for futures because I think these dips down here were very, very clean. Do I use buy stops? Very rarely, to be honest. Normally limit orders for dips and for sells, and I will just mark it in. When I feel like the market's going where I want, I don't mind losing a tick or two. I'll just mark it in with a hotkey. Most of what I use is hotkeys for markets and limits. And then I use the ATM strategy, which puts my stop in automatically and my limits for my targets. And then I move those very quickly on the chart. Yeah, see, if I'm feeling good, if I'm playing momentum TR, then I don't mind marketing in because I should be right fairly quickly. I don't mind losing a tick or two. If I'm playing momentum, I just want to get in then and there. If I'm looking for dips, or I'm trying to sell partials, then I'm happy to use limits. Yeah, exactly. The only time I won't do that is in like a after hours session or a news session or something like that. There's big news coming. Market orders are not the one. You'll get slipped 20, 30, 40 points on a terrible fill. Same in Asia sometimes. You have to be really careful. But in a New York session, like right now, there's nothing. You know, it's so tight. If you're playing ES, it's literally a tick. Crawford. I think on the Ninja video for free on YouTube, I go over it. If not, I can make one. Make sure you are paying yourself some money and holding runners here. All right, we are basing and looking good for a continuation squeeze, but just please make sure you're paying yourself some money today. It took me a few attempts today, team. It took me a minute to get warmed up, didn't it? A bit antsy. I was probably a bit antsy looking for this break even. Or where was the other one? Maybe this break even. But then we got it. Boom, boom, boom. We're looking good now. Just make sure you're paying yourself some money. If this starts to roll, I'd be cautious if we get stuck in here too long. Maybe then it needs to do one of these versus this. But from a daily standpoint, I always will reference back to the hourly and daily. From the daily standpoint, right, we're coming into these levels here. This trigger point here, this pivot top here, and this Bollinger. So if we trade into the max today, I really don't expect us to get through sort of 140s, 150s. And that would be for running a stop, running the daily stop at whatever that is, 122,110. Daily stop of that, maybe we expand into the top Bollinger, but I don't think we get a close above this. We might poke through it, and we might do something like this, like a wick and a close like this. So it'd be the whole bar, leaving this gap open. And then what I would like is a pullback day tomorrow, maybe even 2-day pullback, and then expansion. That would be a very, very easy, clean setup. Leo, yes, I do. I absolutely think that. Yeah, I absolutely. Leo's asking, I know it's early, but do you think we're going to print a new all-time high in a couple of weeks? I absolutely think we're going to print a new all-time high. My dad thought we were going to sell the news. I thought we were going to sell the news until I saw this candle here. Once this candle printed, I was like, we're going back to highs. Holding Bollinger Bands, push, flag, 5-day supporting through the 20-day, 5-day going through it yesterday. Retapping in, breakout, gap and go. We're not far away at all. All it needs to do is a pullback here, build some liquidity, and it's going. Right? It's not a hard move for this market to do. So yeah, in the next couple of weeks, maybe it takes longer if it needs to chop here while Trump puts all his policies in place. But I think we build liquidity in and around here for that move up. And then once through that, you know, if the Bollinger Bands start expanding, what we can think about is where the market will then want to go. So if we treat this whole thing as a flag, yeah, if we treat this as a flag, then we're going to think about extensions. So I would be looking, if I was swing long, these would be my targets right now. Yeah. 1.6, probably 23,500. You might as well call it 24,155. Those would be my long-term swing targets. So yes, I do. I do think we're going to do that. The only time that would change is if we broke out, failed back inside, and then that was just a liquidity sweep to then do a rotation. What I do find it weird that we didn't sweep any of this. I am going to say that. That is slightly odd. Okay, so market having a pullback here. Like I said, make sure you are paying yourself. We're frothy up here. We're above 22,000. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. Structure-wise, you're still bullish. But you don't want to give back 40, 50 points on these trades. So if you're just joining, we have been long this morning. Long here, long here, long in these. All these moves up. Right, long biased only today. Only time I got short biased would have been if we started to break underneath point of control from overnight, which we never did. We absorbed it. So as you can see, I'm fairly relaxed right now. Made my money. Not forcing anything. Just changing some of my old supply levels to demand now. In case we come and back test them, I want to know where they are. So changing that level from sort of 21,950 down to sort of 900. That now for me would be a back test level of demand into that old point of control. So that's now been moved to a blue line. And now we're just digging in. We're just really digging into this supply that we created on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of December. The longer we're here, right, even though this might roll a little bit, the longer we are here and doing this, what we're really doing is building liquidity to be used on an hourly chart. Let me show you what I mean. if we think about this whole thing as a return in, right, the longer we're here, this liquidity will be used for this move eventually. Remember, technically, this low created this high. Technically, this is your pivot down here at the deep pullback. So it can come and retest this. It can sweep it and do this. It can get under it and stay heavy for a change of character on a lower time frame as well. How many of you are nicely green for the day and probably done? If you got 2 or 3 trades today, ask yourself how much longer you need to trade. Maybe you rotate accounts or you move to sim. There you go. Peter says, I'm done for the day. I'm up $2,000. Jeff Stewart, I'm done already onto sim. These guys know, make their money, move on. Very efficient down move. What does that mean? You talking about this one earlier? This was efficient. Not sure about this right now. Nothing in here signaling. VIX basing at previous day low. Just don't force it, Tyson. It will come. Just trade the setups. I see, Daniel. You're talking about from this high. What I wouldn't like is these look very, very clean. This can just do the same thing. Build out some body here. Trade back down. Hold and go. I really don't like shorts today. It will have to be a clear signature. It needs to be like this for me to think about shorts. We're above VWAP. We're above flow zones. We're above the deep momentum. Any short on this session right now is a counter trend short. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, but the easier play has been upside. The hard thing about buying now is how high we are up. Remember, the best buys were all the way down here. It's where we've broken out from. This is an extension. Probably even fib this out. So look at that. Funny that. Right into the 161. Right, so right into the 161. So maybe if this is an extension high, maybe it is due a pullback now. If this is a fib extension high, maybe it's due something like this. But I wouldn't be betting on it. Hopefully you will page yourself there as we got frothy at the top. Like I said, you don't want to give 40, 50 points back. The major thing in this market, right, compared to markets of old, is the ATR, which means when we're moving away from demand and support and when we're moving away from supply, it's moving so far away from it. Like, look how far we need to come for me to really want to think about a multi-time frame bullish hold. Need to come down here. Close. Previous day high. We'd need to come all the way down here. What would concern me right now? This trend line liquidity. If it does this, then I think we come and sweep some of this out. Other than that, it just feels like shorts are trapped. And when shorts are trapped, pullbacks often are not very deep and we just trend higher. But we have taken all the low-hanging fruits out. Like we just went over on the daily. We're running out of room upside, but upside is where this wants to go. It is not really interested in moving downside right now. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Short's been trapped for a few days now. For a few days. I would say definitely since the key day was that inside bar day, that 16th of Jan. That was key. That's what did it. That's what did it for them. It trapped them. And then we're off to the races. Yeah, totally, Daniel. Like, if and when they want to sell that supply, and who knows, it could be in a matter of minutes, then they'll do it aggressively. Always the way. But for now, drift higher seems like a probable situation. If we start to get stuck here and we just taper here, this is where bulls will get trapped if we just do this. But if we are just going to continue to make, remember, just let's get rid of this. We just think about this as a pattern. Where's my pattern? Push, pull, push, pull, push. As long as we protect this low, this could be a pullback. This is what we expect. If we start to break down, it's a whole different ball game. If we start to fail and bulls are trapped up here, then yes, maybe we get that rollover. But nothing is really confirmed until we get through these levels. And that's what makes it hard. That's a long way. But if that's going to be the shoulder and attack this, then yes. Is a pullback due? Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the hourly and stuff. Does it have to do it? No, because we've just built point of control now up here. POC on the day is up here. If we keep rejecting it, then there's a chance that these bulls up here are stuck, right? If we're going to create a point of control up here, which we have just done, you can see it right here. Most volume on the day has been created here, and you can even see this bar above. If I zoom in, volume from 22,010 up to 22,026. So all the time we're holding here, we're okay. If we start to get stuck beneath these levels, then these buyers become trapped. But we're not beneath those. We're not doing that right now. We are drifting upside. So we can build up thesis, but structure, like we keep saying, is saying upside until it proves otherwise. We are in an upside market. Higher time frame algo, lower time frame algo, VWAP, deep pullback momentum. These are all stacked the correct way for upside, which is why we had continuation this morning. So initial balance now printed. Your IB high of day, your IB low, probably that opening print pretty much. Yeah, that opening dip. Leaving the IBL at the lows, that's a very, very bullish play. But technically, we are in initial balance right now, so you must obey the initial balance rules. Peter Curry saying Trump addressing Davos virtually tomorrow at 11 a.m. That'll probably move the market. Yeah. Anything Trump does right now will probably move the market. So the question is, do they do the same thing here and break out? Or are too many buyers trapped up here? But again, upside seems probable until proves otherwise. If we start to roll, we get this. But right now, protecting this low, this is like a 50% pullback. We expect upside, but if you're going to play initial balance, this is a very expensive trade. The cheap trade would be fading the IB. I would not be fading the IB on a day like this, though. All right, we're in a squeeze higher day. I don't want to fade the initial balance on a day like this. There you go. Continuation to squeeze. So retesting those levels. Yeah, Daniel, it is. It's my favorite by miles. It's very, very powerful. The back end is really good. They pay very, very quickly. Very, very easy to use. Customer service is great. I've got nothing bad to say about Traderify. Another firm I was trying out, I will not be talking about, though. They have not got their own server with Ninja or Tradeovate, and it's causing a lot of their traders problems. So that's why I was saying to you guys, I'm not going to talk about stuff until I fully test it. Yeah, no nonsense firm, exactly. Tradeify, very, very good. So do they do the same as earlier? Is this the same thing again? Do they break out, hold? Remember, above IB, we are in trend day higher technically. If we fail the IB and you get a failed auction, then we can think about this liquidity to come and attack. Tired already. Okay, so it's trying to attack that initial balance. We know all the stops are at the initial balance again. ES a little bit weaker in this session. Through the IB high, we're going to think about higher prices. Remember, we've got sellers on the tape, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 75. Right, those are where the sellers are on the tape. It looks like it's just going to continue to squeeze here. But remember, you must respect the initial balance. Cannot say it enough. They do a failed auction. There's lots of liquidity now down sort of 22,000 and under. God, I can't talk. All these sort of levels here. All right, so we know buyers stops are down here right now. TR, just go to the end of the course, and there's an email there. Just email me. I'll put you in the Discord early. Yeah, normally I do it at the end of the course just because it stops. It helps students understand everything that's being talked about once they finish the course. But yeah, just drop me an email. Maybe, Daniel, but I'd be careful with sentiments like has to. That's a very firm sentiment. Has to get retraced 50%. It doesn't have to do anything. It might be probable. Yeah, Dean, we were long this morning. We had a gap and go. All right, so the two theses were squeeze higher, which is what we ended up getting. So we were flag here, had a couple attempts, break even. Then this one paid. This was a break and retest, dip into here, reflag, go again. Now trying to hold this, and we're stuck at the initial balance. So initial balance rules apply. If they fade this, we can come all the way back down to a VWAP. In fact, what we can do, which I haven't done, is from the 930 candle, we can put this VWAP on here, which would be that deep flow zone kind of move. In fact, let me delete all this and then put it on. So those were the plays today. We were looking for longs today. Sentiment was long. And the only other trade would have been if we failed the point of control at the open and wanted to do a gap fill. That would have been trade number 2. But the more obvious one was just a squeeze higher. TR head and shoulders. I mean, we're definitely building liquidity here, but I think it's too early to say a head and shoulders, right? We're definitely building liquidity here, but for me, it still wants to break higher, like low, high, higher low, higher high, probably incoming here. If we fail at the initial balance, then you can be very, very cautious about that failed breakout, that failed auction. But for me, we're just building upside here. At some point, they will probably let it go. But really, we're doing this. Yeah, that's what we're doing today. So there is the IB expansion. All right, so now everything above the initial balance, if we can hold above the initial balance, we can potentially have a trend day higher. There's that retest of the initial balance on that exact candle. It just flushed back down. They're trying to absorb it. So this is the key now. Zoom all the way in. Even though it's happening very, very fast on this time frame, this was the break. This is the retest because this is where their stops are. They can hold this kind of area. They can have a trend day. If they fail this, then we can get that rotation lower. So initial balance rules apply here. We talk about it all the time. All the time they can hold and base above IB. They can move higher. If they start to fail, then you get a failed auction and a rotation. Carol, I don't have my NinjaTrader initial balance extension, guys. Can you help me, please? You can download initial balance extensions for free. If you go to the community tab or whatever it is, NinjaTrader Indicators community, there's tons of free initial balances on there, I'm sure. Initial balance is always the opening hour. So that just the opening hour of London. So still trying to hold here for trend day higher right now. ES wicked through. That the problem is now is we've got lots of supply just above the IB. So on the ES we have supply starting at 28, which is where we keep tapping into. Do I run trailing stops? I will trail my stops manually, Jonathan. So I'll manually trail. Right, so if let's say I was long here, we got a breakout here, and we start to pivot above here. Once we break here, my stop moves, If we continue to break higher, my stop might move to here, so forth. But I do it manually. I'm not doing it on an ATM where it's just moving it up by tick value. That's very, very scalpy for me to do that. So remember, seller on the tape, he's still there. 200 lot, 22,050, and above that, 22,075. There's an 80 lot up there. And then, can't believe I'm saying this, 22,250. There is a 99 lot up there. I don't think we get there. I really don't think we get there today. Happy to be wrong. Hey, I'm happy to be wrong. So watching this carefully, if they, like I keep saying, if they start to fail here, you have to be careful of this IB. ES has poked through and failed. We are sort of poking through. We need to hold these levels for a continuation. If it fails to do it and we dunk into here, this liquidity will be used at that point. Point of control on the session now, I have about 22,016. So there we go, starting to get heavy versus that. So IB rules will apply. If we are going to do a full rotation, this is your VWAP off the 930 print. If they let go of that, that's your VWAP. And if they really want to be nasty, that's the IB low. Do I think we do a full rotation? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Nice recovery from Tesla. Now just down 0.5%, so gaining a good percent or so back there. Eight more likes needed on stream. Come on, team, do me a favor. Let's get them up. We've had some nice trades together today. Now we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait for this initial balance to play out. Let it build the liquidity. If it's going to do that rotation, we can think about a short scalp back down. But it's got to really prove itself to me. The structure of this will make it risky. There's lots of liquidity here to aim for. There's this guy here and there's these guys here. But you will need a kill candle, a return in, and a very, very certain flag to play. Remember, this is the anchored view up off 930. Everything above this, New York session traders are in the money that are bulls. Everything above this, everyone overnight is in the money. Do the VWAP video. Where are we pointing? Upside, upside, upside. Easier trades, upside today until proves otherwise. How many ticks? I'm at like 30 to 40 points on my stop, Crawford, on my ATM, and then I will move it straight away. I generally don't like taking trades with more than a 30 or 40 point max stop, but ideally less than that. But that's like my max pain. I don't want to be trading with more than that, if that makes sense. So I move it. My ATM strategy is basically just for me to move it so that I've got my limits on there so I can quickly fill them. So if for any reason I took a buy and they slammed me, my max pain would be 30, 40 points on it. So it still looks good here. It's holding dips, right? Every M1 block is held. This little block here, this pivot that put this high, he's held. So this could be a higher low to create a higher high and might go again. So still just building out this liquidity today. Drifting higher, like we said, go back to the beginning of the stream. The drift higher seemed most probable in this session. This is what you're looking at in the New York session. Shorts came and attacked this. They attacked again. They got run out. They got a break even here. It got scooped by buyers. They got run out again. Came back in. They just tried to attack it. They got run out again. They're trying to come back in again here. Unless we get a breakdown, they're going to get run out again. Bigger issue is up here, or really just from here all the way up, are big supply blocks. So the best trades were from down here. If you've made your money today, you've probably had the easiest trades. Might need to trap a lot more shorts into this market now in the New York session to even think about going higher. Looking at that daily and that hourly where we are. I mean, these are big moves we've done on this on the day, not necessarily in the session, but on the day. On the day, this is a big move here. Look at the gap up and go, right? And tacking into this supply block right now. So don't want to be a buyer up here. Do not want to be a buyer up here, really. We'll need to see it build out and then go. So there may well be a counter trend short coming. It might not be today. It might be tomorrow or Friday. Or it might even just go into a range. So 15 minutes until you get a new hourly candle. Still just holding its trend. Multi-time frame higher. No reason to short. Not once today have I said to look for the short. Okay, the only time I would think about the short is if you get an IB trade. And even then, your counter trend, you'd have to be very quick on the trigger. The VIX trading back underneath previous day low, trading back towards its current day low. Remember, 1460 down to 1420. Ah, yeah, you are right. I did take a short pre-market, but not since stream. You are absolutely right. I took a short pre-market. Where was that short pre-market? I can show you. Here was my short pre-market. You see that? Yeah. Counter trend short on the failure, covering down here. All right, didn't even move my runners down. Everything since then, we've been looking bullish upside. That was my trade on that account, and then I've moved accounts. You are right, TR. Keeping me honest there, you're right. I did take a pre-market short, but nothing since the New York Open has been short side. How many of you are still holding a runner? Are any of you still in this with a runner? Maybe some of you are still holding on here. RHD, I have never traded with them. There are a number of guys in my room who do trade with them and like them, but I cannot personally comment on Bullnox. I know that the big difference, only from talking to a couple guys in my room, is you have to build up your account slowly. You can't just do 20 in one go. So you'd have to do, I think it's like pass one and trade it up to X amount of leverage, or 3 or 4 or 5, and then a few more. Last wick caught your stop. That's all right. Well, that's a pretty good move all the way up to here. I like the look of this right now. Dean, can you explain your goals when trading? Mine is ES and grab 2 to 3 points consistently. If I get a runner, I set stops accordingly. Any advice? I would say, for me, just listening to that is you're not making enough. 2 to 3 points is nothing on ES. Your range on ES at the moment is offering you really, really big range, 20 plus points. So I would aim for where the liquidity is. Right, so aim for where the liquidity is. So if you were trading ES this morning, it was very, very similar to what we had. So there was your pre-market pullback. Here is the consolidation. Here is the chop. Here is the breakout pullback. That is a long. Your minimum target should be here. So where's that? Entry at 16, coming out at 19, runners above, selling into extensions. Past that, you can look left. We'd have to go on an hourly. And I'd be holding for a sell into this block of supply. Most of the time, you'll be able to get 15, 20 points out of ES, I would say, in this market. Like if you're holding through here, even if you took this redip in, this is SNR, remember, RBS, resistance becomes support. Even if you added here, 23s, that's another 5-pointer. Overnight here, W, entry here, TP1 here. So 02s to 5s, that's your first 3 points, and then runners all the way up. There's another 10 points in there. So I'd say you can probably get a bit more than 2 or 3 points out, as long as your entry is accurate. The main thing is to hold on for the liquidity. Here's a bigger pullback in the market now. So we're getting stuck at the IB. So there's your breakdown now. Have to see how this acts. Remember, this low... Fucking hell, come on, man. This low created this high, so it can dunk back in and hold here. If it melts, it might come all the way back down to VWAP. VWAP 1, remember this is the 930 anchor. That would be your probable move if it's going to melt from IB to VWAP. If it's going to attack these level of stops, you'd be partialing out into here. Really, you want this move here. Partials into here, though, for sure. This is your deep flow zone pullback. This is a fib pullback. This is the low that they will want to protect. You're technically still bullish on this. I know we're breaking down, but technically, this low created this high. So all the time this is holding, technically you're bullish. If we fail this, yes, you could have a cheap trade in here versus IB for that move to VWAP, TP1, TP2, TP3. If you're going to play that initial balance rotation. So IB rotation would be a cheap trade versus high of day. It's counter trend if you're going to take that. There is nothing in this saying that it has to do it other than the initial balance. Carol, I'll have a look for you after the session. There's definitely initial balance. Just type in initial balance indicators for NinjaTrader. There's definitely a ton of those. Or an opening range indicator and then just set it to the initial balance. Just set it for that first hour. Wisdom Lover saying that was Trump speaking. What, making it dump? Why does that not surprise me? This is the thing in this market. There's going to be a lot of things said. Taxes, tariffs, and sanctions will also target anything being sold by Russia to various other participating countries, is what Trump is saying. If we don't make a Ukraine deal soon, US will put high levels of taxes and tariffs and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the US. His aim is to settle now and stop the war. So he's still speaking. So yeah, you've got Trump speaking. We talked about this for the last few days. I just want to get to the end of this month and see what kind of market we're in, because we will be reactive to everything he says. I don't know about that, TR. That was a big move up this morning, a big pullback. I would say as long as Tesla holds around 19s, it can potentially go for a search back towards that high of day. Yeah, we might just have a consolidation now for the rest of the day. Looking across the market, Nvidia will fail off the high but holding. Meta fail off the high but holding. Google really just building that sideways channel. Microsoft or Amazon, big push off the morning. Again, relative strength failing off IB. Microsoft the same, but still holding structure. Apple looking good. All right, Apple swept previous day low, held, trading back inside. Potential flag back towards the IB high. If Apple can break out of that IB high, it has a run back towards effectively 225. It does feel choppy now, yeah. Well, we're in the initial balance, right? So we've had a gap up, gap and go. We've taken most of the liquidity, and now we're in that initial balance. Remember, the low-hanging fruit is always what we're aiming for in these sessions. So the low-hanging fruit on the hourly was into these levels here. I'm going to zoom right in, sorry. So through these wicks and this block and this old point of control. Now we're into supply. So like we said, it might need to build out here. It might need to build out for a number of days, because really we've done this, and we might need to do this and this. And really, what does that look like? It just looks like this. So we don't want to just keep buying high to go higher. We need this pullback here. This pullback here, whether it happens in the next few sessions, this handle is where shorts will get trapped into big daily levels where we want to buy for that rotation higher on the higher time frame. So I'm looking for buys on the higher time frame, but I need lower prices now. We are getting stuck at that point of control up there. Zooming that in for you. All right, so point of control above current price. All the time we keep failing up here at 22s or above 22s in the teens. All the times we're doing this, it's opening the door for this move down here. But more likely something like this to be built. So here's the move coming back towards these flow zones now. And the anchored view up off the 930, so the initial balance print. Yeah, lots of you hear me talk about those low-hanging fruits. Once I make those low-hanging fruit trades, I know I'm like, you can tell that I'm just not active right now. The market's done what I wanted to see it do already today. So now for me, it needs to build out. Like, there is an argument to have taken this short for a move to here and then runners and runners. But it's counter trend and I've made good money. So do I need to put risk on the table to do that move? I don't feel like I need to do it, because really we can just keep everything down here can be a trap to go higher. I don't know how low it would need to trap. Maybe it traps under here. Maybe it traps under here. Maybe this is enough. I don't know right now. But what I'm not going to do is force my way into the market where I've made good money on that low hanging fruit trade. Market's saying to me, it's in squeeze mode. It's trapping shorts to go higher. It's trapping lower time frame shorts to go higher. So I'm not going to fight with that. This area here, definitely key. You could argue 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. If it gets stuck under this, then we open the gate for a bigger move down. We can go to a lower time frame here. Yeah, same kind of thing to this section. But all the time we're holding this, we can use these as trap levels. Remember, if you're struggling to see structure, just go to a line chart. It makes it really, really easy. I'm just risk off, chilling out right now. I've locked in some very, very good money on the day. Catch you tomorrow, Peter. So it feels probable for that rotation back down towards VWAP. Maybe sweep this low, come into here. It's just not a trade I feel like I need to take today. It's a trade that's there. It's there for the taking. It's not a trade I feel like I need to take today. I guess that's the best way of me putting it. Rotation, IB, fail breakout, back into here. At some point, you'd expect bulls to come back in this market. This is your breakout area from earlier. Retest once. If it snaps this, maybe they run this and come back down, and maybe that's the bullish sentiment move from here. If they get weak under here, that's a bigger rotational move at that point. Haven't quite swept that level yet into 22,000. Some light bids down here, nothing huge. Bigger bids are way, way lower. Right, there's a 130 lot at 950, a 220 lot at 925, and a 200 lot at 900. So can they drop this like another 100 odd points? Should be into these kind of levels, or all the way down to the IB low. That'd be impressive. Wrong chart. Sorry, team. Left you on the wrong chart. All right, so there's your 930 anchored VWAP. So this move here, this was your anchored VWAP. Let's do this as green. Not sure why it's showing up as that color. Off the 930 low. So this is average price of buyers in this market right now is at this 930 low. Or off the 930 low, I should say. If they sell through this, maybe they come down towards this wick. Remember, buyers showed in the market here today. And in the middle of this, you have the VWAP from overnight. Like I said, probably could have taken that. It's just not a trade I'm particularly interested in today. Doesn't mean it's not a setup. Doesn't mean it isn't something you can take. For me today, I've made my money. I don't feel like you need to force my way back into this market right now. I'm going to be right back, team. Okay. So there's that little bit of relief off the anchored view up from the 930 low. And if these guys start to reclaim these levels here, show them on the right chart, then you'll get this move back to that high, and that would be enough of a trap underneath this. If they fail this, then maybe you get that continuation into these levels. But right now, so good bullish move to the upside. Remember, you've got point of control up here on the hourly, all right, where we're trading into right now, literally right now into the teens. This is point of control up here. So this is a contentious area, very important area, back testing point of control. Rejection of point of control probably will lead to lower prices. Reclaim of this point of control here will lead to a squeeze upside. Rejection would lead to a potential roll into here, I would say, and then this level here. So how we act here in the next, let's say, 10 minutes becomes pretty key for the notion of where we're going next. So back testing point of control yet again. Point of control, same area as these flow zones, same area where we broke down from. Right, this level here. So do we reject for a bear flag, or do we create that inverted head and shoulder and then come and take these guys out, which is what I have a feeling this market might want to do today, whether it does it now or later. These look pretty comfortable up here to come and run them. So a reclaim of 22,000, 930 anchored view up holding. See why I was less interested in this trade back to it today. It just feels like this market is looking to trap shorts to go higher. Now, I'm happy to be wrong. If this market wants to dunk, it can fade all day and all tomorrow. That would make me a very happy man, because it's going to allow me cheaper prices to come and buy later. But right now, it just feels like it wants to drift higher in general. But we are right at that POC. Right here. It's where all the volume, the biggest volume, has been exchanged today, right at the level we're trading at right now. So I'm not in a rush to do anything here. If it wants to reject it, we can join trend down if you really want. If it starts to reclaim it and pivot up, then we're going to look for a run of those IB highs. Or I say you can look for a run of those IB highs. I'm probably not going to do anything right now. Any questions, guys? Very quiet in chat today. Hopefully it's because you've all made your money. I know lots of you logged off already. Making your money nice and early. There's still a seller all the way up there at 22,050 and then 22,075. Still feel like the market probably just wants to drag up to them right now. So there you go. Through the POC, are we going to go and attack those highs now? And this is the question. I'm looking to see if I can get involved in this now. Are we going to hold prints? Gently adding for this squeeze. That's a bit of a weird fill, but okay. If you say so, Trader Fate. There we go. Beautiful move. And you see why I was less interested in that fade back down to here today. It just feels like the market wants to trap shorts to go higher. That's the kind of move we're in right now in the market. So I'm trying to obey those moves, rather look for buy potential squeezes rather than shorts and be one of those shorts traders who could get stuck. Hopefully that makes sense. Back into this top range, or sorry, the bottom range of the intraday supply we made here. Having a few fill issues here on Trader Fate, so that's spooking me a little bit. Data seems fine. I'm not really sure what's going on. So how we act here, key. Does it base for this move here? Does it just go for a straight squeeze upside? Looking to join these longs for the move back through the IB high if possible. If we fail up here, I'm going to be very, very cautious because this could be a trap over here to fail lower. So it needs to hold in here for me to feel confident about holding this for a rotation higher. Lots of sellers starting to stack up here now. They literally just came on the book this second. So seller at 35, then at 40, 45, and 50. They're all trying to front run that 50. And they're notable sizes. So the seller at 35 is 122 lot. Are they playing this trap to sell lower? That's what I've got in my head. I still feel like the easier move is upside here. I want to see if they lift here through 35. Still there. Because they've come on the tape so quickly, I'd want to see if we trade through them or they lift. When I say lift, I mean basically pull their orders. Are they putting it there to try and make the market come to them just to get to 50? Market slowing right down here. So here's the back test. Is this the trap to go further down lower now? I want to see if they come in and go for this move or not. Was this the trap high here? Do they absorb this, or are we going to really liquidate hard? There's a lot of sellers came in there. Like I said, they left 35 on the book, 120 lots still there. SPY failing here, making lower lows and lower highs now on an M5. QQQ kind of still in a range. Watching to see. Just watching here. Books thinned out below for sure. Like I said, the big buyers are all the way down at 925 and below, which is a long way down. That last candle was fairly notable. Look at the volume. The volume upticked there in that last candle. Oh. Still rejecting pointers control. So we traded through it, failing above. So the last 3 hours, we've had fails above this POC, tapping into this supply, holding up for now. So maybe they need to come deeper before they go higher. And that might not be a move higher today. That could be a move higher later in the week or next week even. Now we've done that daily break. No worries, Daniel. Have a good day. So back to that 930 VWAP again. Do they bear flag this now and break down, or are they just going to trade backwards and forwards in this sort of range here? All right, so either a bear flag here for a breakdown, or they're trading backwards and forwards in a range. Definitely, we had the easiest trades today. The nice trades were these trades. Now, starting to taper a little bit. Oh, wrong chart. Sorry. This is the 930 VWAP. We're now starting to taper here. So either flag it lower, sweep this, attack these maybe where we found buyers, or just chop, which is what we've been doing for a little while now. That was a failed attempt here. That was key. And possible lower time frame sentiment shift now. So SPY coming back into its VWAP, very, very close to tapping its VWAP here on the SPY. Much, much weaker than the Qs. Qs got a long way to go if they're going to get back down to VWAP. Holding 22,000. Back towards that POC again. $22.15 kind of POC around that area. Definitely trapping both sides here, building liquidity. That's its job right now. It needs to build liquidity before the next move. It's run out of things to aim for. It has to build back up some liquidity. I've got any water left. I'm going to grab some water, team, and then I'll be back. So just under that POC, these are the key levels really. If it gets over 15, then maybe has that squeeze back towards 30. If it gets through 30, goes towards high of day. If it keeps rejecting this point of control up here in these flow zones, potentially a deeper move down. But this is key. If it gets through this, then maybe this. If it runs through this, it will use these stops, and then maybe it can do a little extension into the supply. But it is choppy here while it builds out liquidity. Let's volume up a little bit. Oh. So 120 lot at 20s, and then they're stacking 20, 35, 40, 45, and 50. All right, so they're looking to get filled all the way up to 50. It's basically 100 lot each way through. Here they go. Can they trigger a little bit of a squeeze out here? I'm watching this very, very carefully. If this becomes a W and it trades through 30 towards 50s. Can we go for a squeeze? Can we go for a squeeze? Let's go for a squeeze. Let's go for that squeeze through 30, through 50, through IB. Let's just do it for fun. Watching them on the tape here. 125 lot at 35 now. He's the next target for them to fill. And through that, 40 is a bit thin, and then 45 is a 100 lot, and 50 is a 200 lot. That's where they want to go. Like I said, if we get through that point of control, we're going to attack this. If we get through this, we're going to attack this, and then you can get a stop run higher. Yeah, it has to build out liquidity. Just look at the daily, look at the hourly. Hourly can be a flag, right? This can still be a flag on the hourly, but this is supply. All these red blocks are supply, but it can drive up here. if it builds out the flag. But this level here, this point of control, this hourly level right here is key. It needs to do this move. It looks good for it. Like I said, my bias today is just not very deep pullbacks and continue to squeeze shorts out. That's why I wasn't looking for the short. Like I said, even though a probability short below here was to this VWAP, I'm not really interested in shorts today. I think the whole market's objective is to trap shorts and drift higher. If you think about how many shorts will be trapped if we break this, how many shorts are in here? Maybe these guys are still in, these guys are in, maybe added here, maybe added here. We get up here, that's quite a lot of volume who gets stopped out for that lift higher. In terms of structure, I think we swept like an internal. We went here to here, sorry, here to here, swept this, protected this, W here, can go higher. It just feels trappy. Like I've been in these enough times to know. There you go. There you go. I've been in these markets long enough to know when they are just trapping shorts to drift higher. It's exactly why I said less interested in the shorts in general. So it continues to drift. Here we go. So 40s, 45s, 50s, and then 75s on the tape. Remember, above the initial balance, we'll be looking for trend continuation, even though we're being supply. Go back to the very, very start of this stream. I said, feels like the type of day where they're just going to drift higher. They're not going to give deep pullbacks, right? They're going to do shallow pullbacks, trap shorts, go again. That pullback was enough. It went from initial balance to the anchored VWAP off the 930. This is average price of buyers in New York. They held twice. This is a W. If they base over this, boom, we go and run everyone. ES relative weakness. That's what's lagging behind today. So I'm guessing banks or health or something is struggling. Let's have a look. Yeah, so tech's strong. Everything else is not actually looking too good. So if you guys can see this. All right, so these are the sectors. Let's move you on to the right one. These are the sectors. So as you can see, tech very, very strong today. Consumer's not bad, but if we start moving into here, some bad healthcare, some bad finances, these are the banks. That's what's dragging the ES and the SPY down. Utilities, basics, real estate, energy, all way heavier weighted in the SPY. Whereas this section right here, this is most of the Qs. So this is why Qs have relative strength today. Yeah, Jonathan, anchored VWAP shines again. We did a lesson on it at the weekend. It's so powerful, so underused. You know, all these traders who are waiting for a dip down to VWAP here, why does it need to come down here when the New York price is here? It's showing you it wants to hold. So anyone new to the stream who hasn't done the course, all right, I do have tons of free content on YouTube. And one of them is on anchored VWAP. It went live this weekend. It's doing rather well. A lot of people like it. It's worth a view. It's on the VWAP and the anchored VWAP. It's worth a view. You might well enjoy it. And if you enjoy that and you want to learn more, I advise you do the course. All right, the course is 20 hours. Lots of people doing the course at the moment. It is not one of these courses you're going to buy and you're going to do in a couple of hours and think, what a waste of money. All right, it's 20 hours long. It comes with my flow zone indicator, this one right here, plus another one, plus access to the Discord for life. All right, one-time fee, $649. There will not be another sale for a long time. All right, and prices will go up every year. Watching the VIX just sat at previous day low again here. So reclaimed it, trading back inside its range. Looks like it's putting its pivot low. I have to see if VIX wants to break out. If VIX is going to start trading upside, I need to be a little bit cautious. I meant to ask, is there a way to autoplay with the sound not muted on iPad? I'm not totally sure what you're asking there, TR. Sorry. The sound on what? Are you talking about the course? Are you talking about YouTube? I'm not totally sure. And I don't know the answer either way, I'm afraid. So liquidity on the book here, still dangling here. 135, there's 128 lot. Oh, that's very odd, TR. I'm not sure. I would check your settings within Teachable. I've never had anyone else say that. That's really odd. Sorry to hear that. Squeeze continues then. Remember, liquidity all the way up to 50. 100 lot. Basically, it goes 100 lot, 50 lot, 100 lot, 200 lot. All the way up to 50. So they're looking to fill sellers here. These sellers are probably buyers, right? They're probably here, and they're going to drag the market up to 50. They want this extension through and up to 50. That's what they're looking to do. Looking good here. I just want to see it fill 50, really. I want to see it just squeeze through the IB and fill 50. That would be lovely. Yeah, I wouldn't be buying here because you're right at the initial balance high now. I mean, your buy here would be a breakout buy, and you'd be buying supply as well, not just intraday, high time frame supply. So a little bit tricky. Also, really, you want ES to join in, and you want VIX to start dying back inside the range to the downside. Looking good here. Getting close. We're getting close. Remember that last seller is up at 50 right now, and then a gap all the way up to here, up to 75. But definitely, I wouldn't be buying up here now. The absorption happened here for this move. So really, you would need to see this now, and you need to be very careful of a run and then that, especially into lunch. There you go. There you go. Tapping on 50. All right, hit 49.25 there, tapping on 50, selling into this move. Beautiful. There we go. So 50 taken on the book. So the next guy above is 75. So I think, what are we on stream now? 3 for 3? Well, I'll break even the first two. But those were those we got on trade. We just call them trade number 1. It was the same thesis. 1, 2, and 3 was the same thesis, and then we've had continuation higher since then. Hopefully some of you got this. So they're reloading at 50 here. Have to be cautious buying here. Have to be very cautious. ES looking very good. Ripped straight back up to initial balance high. So now you will need to see pullbacks hold this area here, because this is where the shorts were, right? This is who just got slammed out. Need pullbacks to hold this for continuation. If they fell under here, I think longs for the rest of the day would be off the table. Looking good. Look at this move. So 75 is the next guy on the tape right now. Again, we have remained bullish all day. I said, if you want to take that short off the IB, you can, but it's not a short I was willing to take. My feeling is we just drift and drift and drift. Max pain for shorts is my theory. Caught the long from 22.020. This little dip here, yeah, that's a lovely long. Yeah, lovely long. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Push, pull, dip in, hold, point of control. Let's go, baby. Off to the races. Beautiful trade, Jonathan. Again, you will need to see the initial balance hold here. If it does not hold, honestly, I would not be thinking about longs anymore for the day. I wouldn't necessarily be thinking about shorts. I just wouldn't be trading it. If it cannot hold the initial balance, there is a huge amount of liquidity built in here, and we've just run it all. If they don't make these guys become buyers to go back up and we trade in here, this is a no trade zone for me for the rest of the day. Also, we can think about the daily. What did I say on the daily? Max target. We're getting pretty close. All right, max target on the day would be the top of this Bollinger. And it will be this guy right here. Let's make sure that's accurate right here. So the top wick on that daily would take us into 114. Right, so we're not far away from max pain for these shorts. Anything above that is just a ripper on pain. I'm not a buyer anywhere up here. This is how you get cooked as a buyer, is trading up in these sort of areas here, because we've had a change of character. If we sweep this, what would I be expecting at some point in the next few days? A pullback. Then I will be thinking about being a buyer for a return to all-time highs. What I don't want to do is get trapped buying up here. This is how you get in trouble. Don't be buying the top of Bollinger Bands. Right? You buy the top of the Bollinger Band, you get cooked. You buy the top of the Bollinger Band, you get cooked. You buy the top of the Bollinger Band, okay, you got a gap up day, you get cooked. You get cooked. You sell the bottom of the lower Bollinger Band, you get ripped on, right? So we're just smart. We know the extensions where they're likely to go. They can go through it, but our risk parameter here, remember, in terms of buys, these are cheap buys. These are very, very expensive buys. These are better areas to wait for the market to do a mean reversion and sell back down than they are to buy. The only time we buy up here is when this trends up and this 5-day catches up and we do moves like this between the two, just like here. Just like here for trend days, right? But we don't buy up here. We don't buy up here. Give away too much edge on this live stream. I tell myself every day, you're giving away too much edge. These guys need to pay for it. And you make the course and then you teach them everything live. So 30 minutes left until we get into lunch. Just continues to drive higher here. Very good for you, Kathy. I don't blame you. I would be doing the same. I would be doing the same. Like, I'm not paying for that course. He's teaching me everything here. Well, I don't teach everything here, that's for sure. But I definitely give away a bit of edge every now and again. Yeah, Jonathan, I talk about that on stream. I think it's because I'm not entertaining. You know, if you're clicking on and you're just looking for that, you know, guy that's or woman that's big energy and shouting at the screens or whatever, you're not going to get it here. What you are going to get here is calm trading and trying to teach you what I'm looking at and why. We have a really high win rate on here together. That's probably why. I guess over time it would pick up. I mean, I've only been live streaming since September. I only started in September live streaming. I think it's September. So how is a ponytail not entertaining? Yeah, quite right. How is a man bun not entertainment? But yeah, we'll get there. It's growing slowly and steadily. It's growing. Continuing to trade upside here. So that retest of the initial balance or these highs here, remember these sellers have become buyers. This is their pain. This is where they stopped out, returned in, they're holding it. This is what you want to see for continuation. What you have to remember now is you do not want to be adding and adding and adding and adding at highs. Right, we're just drifting higher, that we're running out of things to look for. The only things left is that daily pivot about. I'm just going to double check that daily pivot because I keep marking it out. Let's just do it in this screen here. Oh, let's do it here together. Make sure you're with me. That would be the daily pivot. 111.50. That's slightly wrong. Right here. All right, that would be max pain point for shorts. And remember, the Bollinger Band is like currently like here. Right, so it could stop run this and then get stuck up here or turn back inside. This would be max pain for shorts. So if your continuation long, if you've been holding long all morning, I wish I just held my longs all morning. Imagine those dip buys that I took this morning and got break even on both of those. Absolutely amazing. Those are what you need to be looking for now. You need to be looking for trades. Max pain to here. The closer you get to here, the worse you are. Remember, we are up huge. The gap today is from down here. All right, this is the move. It might not seem that big, but this is the move we've done today. From 700 to 22,000. We're up 340 points currently on this daily candle. It's a big old move. Failed auction. If you start failing underneath where these sellers were, I'm not interested in long here. All right, this is back to chop zone. This is how you get absolutely crucified. No longs there for me. In fact, no more trades for me at all today. I'm tapping out, telling myself that's enough. Made some good money. That is enough. Let's read all here. Calm trading is the way to go. Yeah, I agree, Christy. Totally agree with you there. In fact, let's move the chat over here so I can actually see it. There we go. I should probably do that every day. You took that, TR? Well done. Oh, I took that. I took that well. I'm not a sensitive folk. You know, I'm not sensitive. I don't mind having the piss ripped out of me. It's a bit of fun. Yeah, 1985. That's the best year, mate. Plus 990, buddy. Thank you for your guidance, instruction, and your level demeanor. You're a full professional or full professor with tenure. Thank you, sir. Very kind. Very, very kind. The good thing is, those of you who turn up here every day, those of you that do the course, you should be able to see these patterns without me more and more and more and more. That's the important thing. Now my chat will not go back to the screen I want it on. There we go. All right, so 22,065. He is on the book as a seller now, 155 lot. They just keep adding, right? And this is the kind of thing you want to see as a bull. They keep adding and we keep drifting, and they keep adding and we keep drifting. All right, this is exactly what you want to see. So 65 on the book, 156 lot there, and then that 75 on the book. He's been there all day, and there you go. They've just come on the book now, 22,100. So they just keep adding, and we are going to keep searching for them because these shorts are in pain. We're going to keep searching for the liquidity above. Here you go. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going. So if you're in your runners here, you look very, very good. We keep drifting higher. Max pain for these shorts. Max pain theory. What the market likes to do. And once it's caused max pain one side, then and only then are you likely to get a little bit of relief back to the downside. But there's no reason right now for the market to do it. All right, if we go into any higher time frames, you will see all we've done all day is create a giant flag to drift higher. Let's do a 3-minute here. This flag here, this W here, these stops here, this run here. It all makes sense, doesn't it? All you have to do is go up time frames. Look at the 5 minutes. Absolutely gorgeous today. And that's not a 5 minutes, a 54-minute. This right here, okay, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Exactly what you want to see. Holding flow zones, holding the anchored VWAP. Drifting higher. Go back to the start of the video today, the first 15-20 minutes. You will hear me say my theory today is that we will just drift higher and that pullbacks will not be deep. Very, very clear. Said it before the market opens. If the market gaps and goes, we will drift higher. We will not do deep pullbacks. The reason we don't do deep pullbacks on days like this is because deep pullbacks will let shorts get out. This market is not interested in letting shorts get out. It wants them stuck, right? Which is why every pullback has been shallow. There's some selling there in front of 75. Remember, the only real thing, we are in supply here, by the way. This is like a huge red block. This is just the top of it on a daily. That's your daily. That's ultimate target. I don't think it has much juice above that. Maybe to the Bollinger, but not much juice. Yeah. They're all fib-based. Flow zones are all fib-based. Everything I do pretty much is fib-based. Other than the higher and lower time frame algorithms. Those are based on a huge amount of backtesting of where the market likes to build liquidity and hold. Let's do this as another color, otherwise we're going to get confused here. There we go. That's your anchored VWAP. So hopefully, by being here today, at least you've had the common sense to be like, I'm not shorting this and guessing the tops. If you took this short here, that's fine. If you took that short there, no problem. I was worried that this was going to set up as a trap lower under here, but it protected, and then I knew we were off to the races, which was great, which is why we just had to sit and wait for a second. Waiting is the most important thing in this market, right? Waiting, this is where demand was, came back, held. Okay, now we can trade up, which is where we are trading from right now. Exactly, TR. There was one short trade maybe, which was the failed auction to the anchored VWAP. So it was a cheap trade. I probably, if you were going to take it, I think we were saying you could take like these here. But the RR is not great there as opposed to everything else. Where? Here we go. And let's say risking IB. Not great. Not terrible, but not great. Still drifting higher. How many other channels are just trying to short every single drive up today? I reckon a lot. I reckon a lot. And once they are all blown out, all right, once we do all the way up here, maybe we come to here, maybe we do something like this, and they blow out, then the market will probably do this, and they'll all get very upset. You ever had that happen to you before you learn, where you're like, I'm short here, and I'm short here, and I'm short here, and I'm adding, and I'm adding, and I'm adding, and I blow up, and then it does it. And you're like, oh, I knew I was right. No, you weren't right. You were wrong. That's why you blew up. We can all say we're right. I could say that I can buy here, full account, right here. Oh. And it can come all the way down here, and maybe it comes down here for weeks. And then eventually the market comes up. Oh, I knew I was right. No, you weren't. You were right if you were buying here after this pivot. All right, so structure is everything. Timing in the market is key. We can know where the market wants to go. Once we know where the market wants to go, we have to work out how it's going to get there. Nice, Dean. Good work. Good work, my friend. So SPY is coming into the top of its first pivot I have here, really. So I'd say the SPY, I had it around 607.77, and then we'll start a new supply block, which would be 607.92 up to 608.40. What's interesting is the VIX is trading upside here, so we might get a pullback. Here we go, starting right now. VIX starting to trade upside here. There is some counter trends here probably about to happen. So still the same thing applies, not thinking about any shorts, but VIX looks like it's going to do that inverted head and shoulders on our 5 and 10 minute. It's held its IBL. It's held previous day low after sweeping it this morning, trading back inside, trading back to previous day close right now. Can it trade back upside? If VIX trades upside, you get a deeper wash on this market. That's why you cannot be buying high. Dips are what pays you in these markets right now. Flow zone still holding. Every dip to flow zone holding. ES gonna drive deeper here, I think. ES to the downside. VIX is exploding, almost at its IB high now on the day. So it's really going to have a go. If it gets through IB high on the VIX, it's going to attack 1528. If it gets through that, it's going to attack 1530, 1535. If it gets through that, it can go back into that old range. So the VIX right now is starting to put in a possible bullish pattern. I can show you what I mean so that you understand. Let's go to a 10-minute. I like watching the VIX on a 10-minute. Okay, you can see this here. Here's your low. Push away. Pull back inside. This was today, and now we're starting to base. So if the VIX is going to trade through here, then it's going to trade through here, and then up into this. All right, so any move like this on the VIX, ES is going to do the opposite. ES is going to roll. We have relative strength in the Qs because of tech. "15 minutes left, team, and then I'm going to sign off. Have a good one, Foster Scott. Speak to you in Discord later, no doubt. I'm so done. I'm giving my eyes a rest. I really need to go and get some contact lenses. These glasses actually do my head in a little bit. Here you go. ES with a bit of a pull back here off that VIX drive. Idris, I'm done. I can't make any more money in this lazy drift. Well, hopefully you made some, Idris, and if not, hopefully you learnt along the way. I think you would have made some. Yeah, I think we're running out of targets above, right? We're running out of targets above. We look at the higher time frames. We're into supplies. And there is that final pivot, final daily all the way up here. But, I mean, that's not that far. It's really not that far. Funny that. So 161 extension of the initial balance. Let me see what it is of this last pullback. Just over a measured move. Very achievable today. Have you a lot of area? Sorry, a lot of lighting in that area, Alex? Yeah, so I've got two big lights here. Gets really tiring on the eyes. Really, really tiring. So I've got a big light box there, and then a ring light over there. And it's early. You know, I wake up 5:30 to come and walk into this bright studio light. It's only 8:45 in the morning for me now. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking that for LASIK. I need to get tested because I've got astigmatism in both my eyes. So I'm not just short-sighted. The actual curvature of the, I think it's of the eyeball or maybe the retina is changed. I'm in SoCal. I'm in South LA. So 75 on the tape. Remember that seller 75, 88 lot. He's been there all day looking to get filled, get through that. 100, there's a 100 lot at 22,100. Why did I decide to start streaming? Because guys in the room were saying how useful it was when I was doing live sessions with them to explain stuff that I was teaching. So it just went hand in hand with them learning the course, basically. I think it speeds up. If you're doing the course, it speeds up the process of putting it all together. So that's why, really. And I used to work in a community When I was trading small caps, we used to have a room and stream together every day. A couple guys from S&B, a couple other guys, and most of them still trading small caps, but I moved away from small caps. How is the VIX? It popped towards IB, and it's starting to pull back off that right now. So right now in the VIX, I'll be watching to see if it can hold into and around 15 down to, yeah, basically 15, 1496. You'd want to see VIX hold that and drive back upside if you're looking to fade the ES. Oh, you're at Seal Beach. Nice. That's awesome, dude. No worries, Idris. Yeah. A lot of the students were saying it made a big difference. So otherwise, what I was doing before September was effectively drawing out every single pattern that I could see developing on Discord. And actually, it's actually harder for me to draw out everything on Discord and trade. No, very rarely in Discord. I might do some private lessons there, Crawford, but the main thing I do in Discord for the remainder of the day is just say what patterns we're looking for the remainder of the day. So I'll draw out what I'm looking for the afternoon session, anything where I start to see it break down or firm up for plays. Same for after hours. I'll be saying, like, if there's a news piece coming that we're looking at, or if we're looking for extensions and where we think those extensions can go to in Asia and London, things like that. And it's not just me in Discord. You know, there's lots of other great traders who are helping all the time. You'll see Foster Scott in the stream here most days. He just said goodbye and signed off, but he's in Discord every day helping people or other traders. He's very good at ES. That's what he focuses on. Coop or Daniel, you see him was in here this morning very early, made some money and left, but he's in Discord helping people. Lots of guys in there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vanderman. Yeah, you can trade with the guys in Discord throughout the day. So if your schedule's chopped up and you're looking for like trading partners and stuff like that, pop in Discord. There's guys there all through the day. And I will often say what I'm looking at. No, not that I know of. Which is you raise a good point there, TR, because with the changes coming in, energies are going to be a volatile market. There will be some money to be made there. Sloth, do I advocate just concentrating on two instruments? For me, I like it. For me, I like trading in a comfort zone, right? So I know if I'm focusing, one of the reasons I left small caps was each day have my screener up. I'd be looking at what was moving, what's gapping up big, what's a big like possible day two fade, what's a T+2 squeeze setup, then I'd have to go through it all. What's the float? What's the institutional ownership? Is it a dodgy Chinese stock or is it legit? What exchange is it on? And then I'd have to think about, can I get, the shares to short it? Can I get the borrowers on it? All these things. Or I can just turn up and know my levels each and every day. The levels don't change each and every day, right? It's the same levels. So for me, it just makes it a little bit easier where I'm like, I can focus on where NQ and ES are trading into, and I can really dial in on that. I find it a little bit easier, but that's a personal thing. Would there be more opportunities if I was looking at other markets? Absolutely. Like if I was looking for a short today, I should be short on the RTY. I can see that's got relative weakness today. Has there been opportunities to buy in gold? Yeah, there has. And we've talked about it in Discord. I was very interested in looking at gold the last year. And maybe it's something I'll do not on stream. Maybe gold's something I'll think about, especially if I ever leave here. Maybe I'll trade that in the Asia session. I think gold reacts well in Asia. So I'd say start with a small watch list. Find what you're comfortable with. NQ isn't for everyone. You know, NQ is a bit of a liquidity whore, which is why I like it. Not that I'm a whore, but I like markets which search for liquidity. It's so similar to how I would play small caps, right? Watching the book, where's the liquidity? Where's the max pain? Can we trade up to that point? Once we've got through that point, are we going to have exhaustion? Do we then get a trade back downside? For me, it's just how my brain works. Trade that way nicely. All markets work that way, but NQ really works that way well. What I'd say with NQ is sometimes it disrespects S&R more than other markets. Like, it would not have surprised me earlier if NQ, let's say this was demand, if NQ just wanted to do this first. Whereas ES is more likely to just drip in, do a nice W, and then go. So you have to find, you know, the instrument that suits you, suits your personality. NQ is great for scalping as well. If you're looking to make money fast, if you're aggressive with stops, NQ can be really good. If you're looking for a slower trader, you know, ES is better. RTY is good. YM's good. They've all got their benefits. NQ can be more manipulated. I'd say ES is probably the most highly manipulated because I reckon more people, or definitely there's more volume on the ES and there's probably more options trades versus SPY, SPX than there are on QQQ. So does that answer your question, Sloth? I've probably gone around the houses a bit there. Find what works for you, stick to it, and then you can build out your base from there. You know, once you get comfortable, you can look at other markets. TR, my current... Hang on, let me just move this across here. I've got to put my glasses on, guys. I'm so blind. I'm so blind. It's horrific. Right. TR, my current trades are set up... My current trades are set up across any chart. So look at too many right now. Need to focus on just one. Your current trades. Do you mean your current chart? Current trades are set up across... Not totally sure what you mean. Do you mean in terms of the amount of markets you're looking at, maybe? Current setups, okay. Jim Bennett, when you move 100% to Ninja, will you have a course on the nuances of Ninja Trader like you do in your Trading View course? I mean, it's exactly the same, really. Like, my setup, my screen, everything's exactly the same. There is a free course or a free lesson on Ninja Trader on my YouTube on how I set it up to look the same. But honestly, the nuances are the same. Like, I'm playing in and out the market the same way. It looks pretty much identical. You can see it here. Like, I trade it all the same way. Nothing really changes for me. I guess the only thing that would be different would be hotkeys and stuff, but exactly the same. What does Trading Station look like? How many monitors do you have to follow all the timeframes and markets you follow? Okay, so my main monitors, so I have two vertical monitors here, then a monitor here, my trading monitor, and a right monitor here. So to give you an idea, if we start here, this is what you're looking at. By the way, we've just gone and searched for that liquidity now into 75, so he just got filled. All right, a big fill there into 75, 140 lot filled there. So the next level above you now is 22,100. We are just continuing to drift and extend up towards this. This is ultimate pain for the shorts. This is ultimate pain for the shorts. Red line. I cannot say that enough. You do not just want to keep buying on the way up, all right? You should really... This was a buy here and down here, and you should be in runners for this move. Don't be surprised if it needs some relief before going up later in the day, potentially. So just don't get caught. Sorry, back to the questions. So yes, so this screen here is what you're looking at. So on this screen, I have my flow zone that you're looking at, 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 hour, daily. Those are always on that. Then I can quickly click over if I wanted to look at a line chart and a daily with Bollinger Bands underneath. My screen in front of me is my current P&L, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, and my execution chart for Ninja. Then over here, I am running a 5 minute chart on the ES and the SPY and the QQQ and the VIX. And then here I have Bookmap and then I have OBS. All right, so a fair amount. If I wasn't streaming, I could get rid of a screen and have less space. Right, so it's not that you need more monitors, but I need them to stream. Unfortunately, OBS takes up an awful lot of room. I could probably do without, you know, this 1 minute chart here because I can have that right in front of me to execute on on Ninja, but then you guys couldn't see it. And the problem is it doesn't give you all these signals. It doesn't look quite as good. So unfortunately, I don't have that ready yet. So it's not that you need more charts to trade better. But what I would say is not the more charts you have, but you want to see your multiple time frames at a quick glance like that. So for me, I need to at least be able to see the execution, 1 or 2, a 5 minute for a bit of bias to understand where we're at, and an hourly. I don't need to look at the daily too many times. You wouldn't need to look at the 4 hour. You'd look at the 4 hour twice a day. You'd look at the daily maybe at the beginning of the session and understand where we're trying to go. But the 1, the 5, and the hour, or the 1, the 5, 15, and an hour, I want to be able to see those all the time. Okay. Very much those who were in Discord with me yesterday, I think this happened in Discord. We talked about those buyers hanging out underneath, looking to get filled. Look at your book map. Look at your level 2 now. Scroll down to 22,040, 35, 30, 25, and 20. You have 100 lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stacked up. 100 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot, 100 lot. All looking to get filled from 2240 to 2220. Where would that be? This right here, initial balance down into here. All right, there are buyers sat here passively. Now, yesterday they sat there with 1,000 lot waiting for hours. We drifted higher and eventually we filled them and then we got a bounce off it. We spoke about it yesterday in Discord. So it doesn't mean it needs to come there now, but just know this isn't guessing where liquidity is. This is genuine liquidity on the book. There's 500 lots sat here on the book waiting to get filled. All right, so they're waiting to get filled on a back test. Now, if they hold that, then maybe you look for a bullish setup and a return back up. If we haven't taken this, it'd be very nice. What you would need to be careful of is if this structure changes, we get down here like this, they can always fade and roll. But not buying up here. This is telling you where the buyers are. They've literally made it as clear for you as they can. Bookmap's super cheap right now. They've brought the prices down. Let's have a look. Because you only need the CME data for it. And you can try it for free as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, they still have a free trial for it. Let's have a look at the pricing. You want... I think you can get it for 15, 16 bucks a month. There will be somewhere it does it. I'm trying to find where it was that did like a 3-month trial for you. I think it was an email from them. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe it was for Think or Swim. It might have been for TradeStation when I had that. Is it only YM? It used to be ES. Trying to find it for you here. Continues to drift higher here, watching the book. Okay, seller here at 84. getting pretty extended here. I feel like we're just going to pop all these guys out. Watching ES carefully. VIX is trading up towards its IB high. All right, so I'm ready for some kind of shift here in the market. Moving my stop right up now for my last one. I'm going to put my stop really tight because I just don't want any form of flush here. So moving it to, let's do 80. Very, very tight, but I was in from 15, so it's a big old move. Do you ever run it? Yeah, just one left, Jonathan. Just a micro, not a mini. So I'm right under this last pullback candle, just trading this 1 minute candle. Very, very tight. But it's because I'm watching ES and I'm watching the VIX. So if we get divergence and we get a squeeze out and a failure here, I still think this is the draw, but when we're up here, I'm really not willing to leave my stop down here and give that much back. So through that 85, that 100 left on the book. Remember, 110-ish, 111.50-ish is the ultimate target. Live prop firm trading. Hi, everyone. How's the market treating you? Yeah, we're good. We're having a good day here. Been long sentiment all day. We continue to drift higher. There was your buy signal. These guys right here. And can we get up here? This knocks me out. It's fine. We're into lunch now anyway, so it's the only reason I'm here, just holding on. We have divergence here in the market, though, with VIX trading up and the ES trading up. Probably going to get knocked out on a wash here. Very extended on this hourly. So if you remember back to what we talked about on the hourly, we were saying that this could just be a flag and the pain of point control can go upside. You can rewind this video. We talked about it. This is what we've got. I'm going to get rid of this now because we've chomped through this. Really, we're just going to trade probably, if it can, to the top end of that range, which is that daily pivot. Through the daily pivot, it will just be into the top of the Bollinger. We're getting very, very close now on the Bollinger Bands, guys. All right, we're getting very, very close. Here we go. So they are opening upside, but we're getting close to them. The elastic band has worked from one side. We went too far. Stretches an elastic band and pinged us back to the other side into here. So if we get too far, we're pinged back for a mean reversion trade. This would be the trade I'll be looking for maybe next week if it will give it, unless we get trapped between this, in which case I'll just join trend up. But a mean reversion trade in the next couple sessions, maybe Monday if not, to here would be beautiful. To a 5-day, 20-day catch up into this kind of point here, and then I can be a buyer off a W or just a pivot in or a move back upside. That would be really, really nice. Jonathan, you're doing better than me, mate. That's really good. 5 micros from 2020. The reason I'm being very, very cautious here with my stop is just the VIX. All right, the VIX is trading up to its IB high while the ES is trading upside. That's not something you want to see in the market. One of these is going to let go. So either the VIX is going to dunk or the ES is going to dunk. One or the other. We cannot drift higher across all markets. It's not how it works. So we've got divergence there. That's given me an inclination that something is going to let go. I don't know which, but something will. But trend higher continues. Look at the power of the initial balance. Initial balance. All this was doing was putting short stops in here to get run, and they are fueling the move higher. Like we said, drift higher. We're not going to have deep pullbacks. It's not one of the days where we do this. Right, this is drift higher, shorts are stuck. Add, cover. Add, cover. Add, cover. That's the game plan when the market is like this. They get so frustrated, right? And where will we know that it's done? It will have a candle like this. It would do something like boom, and then trade back inside with huge volume up there. That would be the exchange of the stops, just like a small cap, and then and only then would I think about a mean reversion down. But what I would say is, most of the time when we drift higher and we are in a trend day higher, the market will not let people out. It does not want to let people out the market. It wants shorts to remain stuck in the market. Maybe some of you are joining me and are new here. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday. We do top-down analysis in the morning, pre-market analysis with trade thesis. And then I do my best to teach as I go and call the setups that I'm looking at. Trade your own money. It's your account. You trade the way that you want to, but I will always say what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at it. Cannot believe it left me in there. Very kind market right now. Didn't take out my tag. But might even move it up a little bit more into 82.50 here. Only because I don't want to get washed on. VIX continuing to trade upside. ES continuing to trade upside. Not healthy. That is not healthy. It's not what I want to see. Still have that liquidity at 22,100. Still have that red line to aim for above. Tagged. Am I going to regret that stop? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. That's a good move. I will take that move all day long. VIX continuing to go upside. Here's some relief coming on the market in ESs. All right, so the VIX was a bit of a clue there. VIX continues. So VIX IB now. Remember, if VIX starts breaking out, market's going to have a notable pullback. All right, so that was the clue in the market. How did I know? Why did I move my stop tight? Do I regret it? Maybe I'll end up regretting it by the end of the day. But right now, I'm going to stick to my rules. I cannot keep risk on the market with VIX just trading upside. Cannot do that. I'm opening myself up for a deep dunk on this market otherwise. Great work, Jonathan Mooney. So what did you get out there? About 60 points. Yeah, about the same as me. Let's have a look at my entry. Yeah, pretty much identical. So a bit of a rejection there on the IBH on the VIX, but that's me done. That is me done. Locking in some lovely money on the day. I will take that all day long. So a nice trade. Even if you just followed the flow zones and nothing else. Risking that pivot into here. About 12R we got with the run. I didn't get all of that, obviously. I'd be lying. I took some off into this breakthrough, some off on 50, some off at 75, and then just one left from 75 to, what did I get, into 82. So not really that much on that last one, but that's okay. That's how we need to trade. That's okay. Nice, Glenn. Great work. Yeah, and look at this relief. All right, so VIX was the clue here. All right, so if you wonder why I watch the VIX, VIX is the big clue here. As it continues to drive upside, the market cannot trade upside with the VIX doing that. All right, big divergence across the market. That was the clue that we needed a healthy pullback on this market. VIX was telling you nice and early. So everything I teach in the course, everything I preach when I'm online doing these sessions has just played out. All right, so that is why we got that stop in nice and tight. With that said, I'm going to take my dog for a walk. I'm going to go and get a coffee, and then I'm going to go for a lift, get off the screens for a bit and give my eyes a bit of a rest, and maybe we'll have a look at the afternoon session, but I don't feel enthralled to trade it right now. Healthy pullback here on the market. So again, if you're wondering why, go to the VIX. Right, here was that drift higher that we were talking about. This is not what you want to see if the market's moving higher, right? You want the VIX to come down here. You wanted it to reject there and come down here, not do that move, which is why we went risk off on the market, all right? So we will be back on stream, same time tomorrow. 9:15, 9:20, I'm normally on stream. Normally do the breakdown from 9:20. I will see you all there. Thank you all the new traders who joined me. I appreciate you helping me grow this stream. Share it with your mates. Hopefully you made some money today. If you didn't make money, hopefully you learned, some lessons, some setups for the next day so you can start doing this yourself. Repeatable patterns. You'll notice today the repeatable patterns. Before I go, I'm just going to go over it again. Push, pull, flag, break, retest, entry. Push, pull, resistance becomes support. Flag, breakout, retest, entry. Push, pull, flag, breakout, retest, entry. Wash of stops, inverted head and shoulder type move, trap, go, IB high, boom, off to races. All right, same thing. I'm not doing anything different here. I do every day. If you turn up with me every day, eventually you're going to get bored of me talking about the same old crap. But that is trading. It shouldn't be a crazy, exciting, fun thing to do. All right, like it's great fun. It's great to talk on stream. It's great to have a laugh. It's great to make money. It should just be the same thing every day, and that's what we do here. All right, remember, use hard stops. All right, you are in a market which is very, very volatile. Mr. Trump can say absolutely anything at any time, all right? He can talk about anything at any moment, at any time, as can anyone, and it can move the market. So use hard stops, all right? Don't be too greedy. I'll see you guys from the Discord later. Everyone else, see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Be kind to each other. Trade safe.